work for me, work the body for me. What? Work it. Get down, 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 get down. Work it.
So Thursday night game, it was okay. I didn't get too far. We started out with 70 cane chips, and that just the cards are getting. I never had any great cards. I think I had pocket threes and flopped a set, and I was able to get paid a small amount. Another time I had pocket nines. As in the small blind. It was raised, I think the blinds were 200, 400, and middle position guy made it 1100. There was a button called, thought about raising from the small blind. It's early, we're playing deep. Decided to just call and see what goes, what happens. The big blind calls. Flop came out, queen, nine, four with two hearts. So I had my set of nines. There's about 4,500 in the pot with the four players. So I decided to lead out with about 3K. Somebody hit somebody could have ace, queen, king, queen, but it was, felt like it was draw heavy. The queen nine, somebody could have 10 jack, and the two hearts too. I just wanted to build a pot instead of just checking. And if it got checked around, whatever card comes out is probably just going to be more of a scare card for me. The straight and the flush, and I don't want somebody to just get there cheaply. So I just wanted to charge them a little bit, and they all folded. So maybe I could have played it a little bit differently. I was getting cards that were draw dependent. I think I had ace queen once, and I raised pre-flop, and I had to continue. I had to do a c bet to get a fold from a long caller. Other than that, there was like really no big made hands. So I had medium pairs a few times. So this first one of these hands. I had king jack of hearts, and I raised from late position, not too late. I think I was in the hijack. So I raised it, and the guy who sat next to me, I know he's a very good player, but he tends to be a little bit on the tighter side. So so he calls me, and there was one other caller. So flop comes out. Flop came out 6, 9, 10, two hearts. And I have, king jack of hearts. I have the flush draw, and the queen gave me a straight. So I had a straight draw and a flush draw. So I bet, and the guy immediately to my left calls, and the other guy folded. The turn was the king of diamonds. So now I have a pair, the top pair, decent kicker, flush draw, and a straight draw didn't change. So I bet, it's a small amount, not too small, but maybe a third of the pot. So he three bets me. I might have made it like 22,000, and he made it like 52. So it's hard for me to fold here. I know he probably has a good hand, but I still have the heart out. But the river was a two of clubs, didn't help me. I checked him, and he made us. He bet 8,000, which is half to a little bit less than half of the pot. I knew. I just say like donation. I call, show my king jack of hearts. He'd pocket nines, and he'd flopped a set of nines. So that cost me a little bit, but I was able to get him back with a lot of it back when I flopped. the pocket threes when I bought the set. It was just me and him in that hand. I checked. He bet. I called. And then on the turn, we both checked. So he was looking at me like he's worried. It was a 10 high board on the river. I just let out, decent amount of bet and kind of almost looked like a bluff. So I got him to call. He had pocket jacks, so he had an overpair. So I got paid on that hand to get it back. So we get to the add-on period, the break. No more rebuys and binds at this time. So we had started with 70,000. I was up and I was playing a lot of hands. The problem was a lot of my playable hands were like not in the best position, and the table was also like a lot more. There's a lot more raising going on, so it's harder to. I wanted to tighten up my game, but I wasn't getting the kind of hands that you could play in a tight position because just wasn't getting cards. And then when I did get cards, I mean, I won pots with like 5-7 of diamonds raising, and then up against ace queen, and the board is like 9-6-6-5-7. Those type of hands. So when we got to that break, I had about 56,000. We'd started with 70, so it's less than the starting stack, but not the worst. And then with the add-on, so post a break, still doing well. I built up a decent stack, not huge, but I got to like maybe 160K or so. And early position guy to my right, he made a raise, and I had Jack Queen of Diamonds. So I'm gonna call. I come after him. There's like two other players call, and pot was being built nicely. So flop comes out 9 of diamonds, 8 of hearts, 7 of diamonds, and the initial raiser goes all in. He had about 99,000. I have him covered. I still have another 150. On me and Jack Queen of Diamonds. I say, I'm gonna have. I call this because I have the straight draw, flush draw, and 2 overcards. I put him on a good hand. I didn't think he had a drop. He probably had a made hand. And the guy who acted last, who was in the hand, he had also got in. He debates as if I was all in too, or just had called. He decides to fold and go away. So I show my Jack Queen of Diamonds, and he shows 2 black aces. He had aces. So I had outs. At this point, I'm 48% chance of winning. I have the 9 diamonds and 3 tens. 12 outs with 2 cards to go. The turn was the Jack of Spades, and I paired my Jack. So now it gave me even more outs. Now any diamond, any 10, any Jack, any Queen, I win. But I don't hit on the river. 3 of clubs comes out. So he scooped up a nice pot. He became one of the bigger stacks, and I was crippled down to about 40K. And blinds were 1,000, 2,000, 2,000. Big blind ante of 2,000. So I had technically I had 20 big blinds, but it was like an M of 10 with the cost, or an M of 8. So I went on for a while, and I was able to build it back up to a stack of about 70K by the time the next set of blinds came up, which was 2,000, 3,000, 3,000. 3,000 being the big blind ante. I had just shoved. I didn't care if people are in. I shoved pocket fours, got folds. I played king jack off. I just called from the small blind. There were 4 players. There was a big raise, and the flop came out king 5-4. I let out the bet. I mean, one of the guys called me, so I'm worried. There were 2 clubs out there. I was worried about flush draw. The turn came out a 2, so it was like king 5-4-2, 2 clubs and 2 spades. I just go all in. I didn't have a lot, and the guy folded. He claimed he had king 10. So my king jack was probably in a really good spot. Probably didn't need to shove, but I didn't have a lot at that point. It was, for the pot size of my stack, it wasn't an over bet. I think it looks more suspicious if a small stack bets a small amount. It looked very strong. So this, and then I had again, it was pocket nines. I had a bunch of players. I just go all in, and I got fold. So when I went all in with with this to get to the 70K, that worked. And then ace seven of hearts again is like aggression, few callers. I'm on the big blind. I paid the extra 6,000 to see a flop, and flop came out. 3-7 queen, two spades. I had a7 of hearts. I checked the initial raiser, but good amount. And I can't just go all in with air. So he looked like he was bluffing, but he probably had my a7 beat. Anyway, I went away. I didn't think I had enough of a leverage to get him to fold. Mm-hmm. Then soon after, I get king queen of clubs. Again, I have about 70K. It was raised to me. It was another player. I was in the small blind, so I decide I'm just gonna call because I'd been shoving a lot and felt like I might get called again. And king queen was kind of weak. Clubs and it probably plays well post flop, but unfortunately, flop comes out 6-5-3. And this is technically a bad decision because if I was going to shove, I should have shoved pre-flop. So I just decided to shove my king queen of clubs. The initial raiser, he thinks about it like, did you have 4-7 or two pairs? And he folds. So I don't know what he had. Probably had two big cards. But the other guy who got in, I should have been more aware of him getting in. He'd been like a weak player for the most part. So I decide, he decides that you're like, okay, I'm ready to go home. I call, and he had barely had me covered. I think I put in my all-in raise was like about 50K. He had a little bit more. He had like almost 60K. I call, and he shows his pocket tens. At king queen of clubs, I don't think he would have folded pre-flop if I shoved. But you never know. I mean, probably not. I mean, I wouldn't fold. So I had two overs, and I don't hit. Flop comes out an ace, and then seven of clubs, and that was it for me. So I didn't get as far as I should have. I didn't play super optimal. Probably needed to be more patient, and I just didn't hit. I always try to kind of gamble a little bit if I have an advantage, and the chips to call it with. I try to go, as big a stack as possible. So that was it for today.